Hi everybody, and welcome to my review of Alice in Wonderland. Now, this Alice in Wonderland is actually a remake. Well, not necessarily a remake, but kind of a sequel to the original Alice in Wonderland, which is based off of Lewis Carroll's novels, The Adventures of Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. Now, this movie is directed by Tim Burton, and it stars Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, so two Tim Burton regulars, and they're in live action roles, and then Alice is played by Mia Wasikowska. She's a unknown actress, and then all the other roles are played by voice actors. And now with this movie, it's set up as a sequel where Alice is 19 years old instead of a young child, and she has to come back to Neverland, and it's kind of like Chronicles of Narnia in that there's a prophecy that she's going to stop the Red Queen, because the Red Queen took over Wonderland while Alice was gone. So now Alice has to, I guess, stop her and take her out and take the throne away from her. So that's pretty much the setup of the movie. I didn't like this movie as much as other Tim Burton movies. Now, I'm a pretty big Tim Burton fan. I'm actually a very big Tim Burton fan. Especially his early movies like Batman, Edward Scissorhands. I love those movies. Planet of the Apes, he kind of lost me on that one. But then he got me back with Big Fish, which I think is his best movie and his most mature movie to date. But see, with Tim Burton, he's so divisive that you either really like his movies or you really don't like his movies. There's really not a lot of in between that I've at least heard of with his movies. So now with this movie, I thought the acting in it was good, nothing to complain about. But one of the major problems I had with this movie was that the story was just it was not very coherent, if that's the right word. I didn't feel like, I just felt like Alice was just going from kind of one character to the next. I mean, I know that's kind of what the story of Alice in Wonderland is, but so I guess that I'm saying that it doesn't translate well to film, because all it felt like was Alice going from kind of one situation to the next. Each of these characters that she meets, such as the Cheshire Cat or Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter, I think they kind of represent different parts of Alice's personality, and she doesn't know if this is a dream or not where she is in Wonderland. She doesn't know if it's real or it's a dream, and she also doesn't know if she's the Alice that's been prophesized to stop the Red Queen. So that was one of my complaints about the film. Now, the look of the film, that's the best part of the film. I feel like the look, the CGI that they did with this is as good as Avatar, if you've seen that. It is so good. Just the landscape, and it just looks like a giant painting, and you're just immersed in it. And I saw it in 3D, and yes, it is worth it. The 3D, it definitely is. It's a good 3D. It's not bad like some movies. So the visuals, if anything, the visuals in this movie are amazing. Now, if the story would have been better, I would have ranked this a little higher in the Tim Burton canon. But right now, it's kind of in the middle. It's not as high as Big Fish or Edward Scissorhands, for me at least. But it's not as low as like Planet of the Apes and Mars Attacks, which was awful. It's kind of with Sleepy Hollow and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I guess. It's very similar to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in that it is a reimagining. It's very quirky and weird, but all Tim Burton movies are like that, so it's something a viewer just has to know going into it. But I still recommend it. It's still definitely worth going to see, especially in 3D. So I would say that I would give it like a 3 out of 4 star-wise. Now, it's rated PG, but parents should know that there's a lot of disturbing images in it, to say the least. For example, at one point Alice has to hop across a river and as she's going across the river, she has to go across on severed heads that are floating in the water. So that could scare some kids. There's also there's like a battle sequence at the end. I won't give too much away, but that's kind of, I guess that might scare kids, little kids, like below 8. So it is rated PG, but just make sure that you've got kids who are mature enough to deal with some disturbing images. It almost could have been PG-13. But it's a Disney film, so they had to give it a PG rating, I guess, to make sure that parents would bring their kids. So yeah, thanks for listening, and be sure to check out my other reviews.